You're 55. You open your retirement statement. The number looks like a finish line. Then your CPA tells you a third of it already belongs to the IRS. In the next 12 minutes, you'll know exactly how a couple pulling $120,000 a year in retirement can owe the federal government close to zero. Legally, using four brackets the tax code already contains, and it has nothing to do with insurance products or loopholes. The structure has been sitting in the IRS code for years. Most CPAs never build it because the savings show up 20 years after they file your return. Most retirement planning assumes one thing: the money you saved is the money you spend. You withdraw it, you pay tax, the rest lands in your checking account, and you do it again next month. Under that assumption, a couple pulling $120,000 a year in retirement loses $10,000, $15,000, sometimes more, in federal income tax year after year for 30 years. But that assumption isn't a law of physics, it's a default. And the default kicks in when you load every dollar into a traditional 401k and stop there. There's a different version, with the same gross income, the same lifestyle, but a different architecture underneath. And in this version, the federal tax bill in retirement is closer to zero than to $15,000. Not through a loophole, not through some insurance product a guy on YouTube is selling you, but through four legal tax brackets the IRS code already contains, stacked the right way. So what if you actually built it? What does $120,000 a year tax-free look like on paper? And what does it cost you to get there? Start with one number, $32,200. That's the 2026 standard deduction for a married couple filing jointly. Every dollar of ordinary income up to that line gets wiped before the IRS sees it. It doesn't get taxed at a low rate. It doesn't get taxed at all. Now add a second number, $98,900. That's the top of the 0% federal bracket for long-term capital gains and qualified dividends, married filing jointly. As long as your taxable income stays under that line, every dollar of gain and dividend gets taxed at 0%. Stack those two, and you have the floor. A married couple in 2026 can carry $32,000 of ordinary income, absorbed by the standard deduction, plus $98,000 of long-term gains and qualified dividends inside the 0% bracket. That's $131,000 of gross income with a $0 federal tax bill. The IRS writes the math. Call that the tax-free floor. It's the level Congress has decided not to charge a retired couple anything. Now here's the part most people miss. Roth withdrawals don't count toward that floor. HSA withdrawals for medical don't count either. They sit outside the brackets entirely. You can stack them on top. Pull $40,000 from a Roth IRA, tax-free, and it doesn't push you up the brackets. Pull $15,000 from an HSA for Medicare premiums and medical bills, tax-free, and it doesn't push you up the brackets either. Add those to the floor, and you are at $186,000 of gross retirement income with zero federal tax owed. That isn't a theoretical maximum. That's just what the code allows. Three buckets carry the entire structure: Roth, HSA, and a regular brokerage account drained inside the 0% LTCG bracket. Call it the triple bucket. Each one is tax-free for a different reason. Roth, because you paid the tax decades ago. HSA, because the law exempts medical spending. The brokerage account, because gains under the threshold are charged at zero. Now contrast that with the default. Same couple, same $120,000 of income, all coming out of a traditional 401k. Every dollar is ordinary income. The standard deduction wipes the first $32,000. The rest gets taxed at the 12% and 22% brackets. Federal bill, roughly $9,200 a year, every year for 30 years. That's $276,000 in federal tax paid out of money you already saved. Same income, same lifestyle, and the difference isn't strategy or luck. It's where you put the money before you retired. So the obvious question is how you get there from here. The answer depends on your age. If you're 25, easy. Pick Roth 401k and Roth IRA from day one and let the buckets fill. The hard case is the 45-year-old with $700,000 already locked inside a pre-tax 401k. For him, the engine is Roth conversion. You move money out of the pre-tax bucket and into the Roth bucket. You pay tax on it now at your current bracket. You never pay tax on it again. Here's the math that makes it work. A 45-year-old in the 24% bracket who converts $25,000 a year for 20 years pays about $6,000 in tax per conversion. By 65, he has moved $500,000 into Roth and paid $120,000 in tax along the way. That same $500,000 left inside a traditional account, growing at 7% for 20 years and then drawn down at a 22% effective rate in retirement, would cost roughly $440,000 in lifetime federal tax. Convert at 24% now, save 22% later. Counterintuitive until you look at it. You're not avoiding tax. You're choosing when to pay it. And you're choosing the cheaper window. It's not a finish line. It's a rerouting job, done one tax year at a time for 10 or 15 years. Take Maria. She's 55, with $400,000 saved, all of it inside a pre-tax 401k, no Roth, no HSA. She retires at 65 with about $800,000. She draws $120,000 a year. Every dollar comes out as ordinary income. The standard deduction eats the first $32,000. The rest piles up at the 12% and 22% brackets. Her federal tax bill is around $9,200 a year. Over a 25-year retirement, she hands the IRS about $230,000 of money she already worked 30 years to save. Maria didn't do anything wrong. She did exactly what HR told her to do for 3 decades. Max the 401k, take the match, don't touch it. The default was the trap. Her sub-decision is the tax valley, the years between retirement at 65 and the start of required minimum distributions at 75. Income is low, brackets are wide open. She converts $40,000 a year for 10 years from her pre-tax 401k into a Roth. She pays tax at 12% on most of it. She gives up about $50,000 in conversion tax during those years and saves $180,000 in lifetime tax from 75 onward. It's a late start and a partial fix, but it's real money. Take David. He's 50, with $600,000 in his 401k, $80,000 in a Roth IRA, $30,000 in an HSA. He's middle of the pack. He heard about the buckets in his late 30s and started filling them. By 65, his split is roughly 70% pre-tax, 20% Roth, 10% HSA plus brokerage. In retirement, he draws the same $120,000 a year, but strategically. $80,000 from the 401k, $30,000 from Roth, $10,000 from the HSA for medical and Medicare. The standard deduction wipes the first $32,000. The remaining $48,000 of ordinary income gets taxed at 12%. Federal bill, about $4,800 a year, half of Maria's. His sub-decision is to keep converting during the tax valley. Each year between 65 and 73, he moves another $30,000 from pre-tax into Roth at the 12% bracket while his income is low. By 75, his pre-tax balance is small enough that required minimums don't push him up a bracket. He pays about $30,000 more in conversion tax during his 60s, and he saves about $90,000 in lifetime tax after. Take Sarah and Tom. They're 45, with $300,000 total but balanced. $100,000 in a Roth IRA, $50,000 in an HSA, $100,000 in a taxable brokerage account, $50,000 in a Roth 401k. They started this strategy at 35. By 65, with steady contributions and 7% growth, they have $2.4 million. The split stays roughly even across the 4 buckets. They draw $120,000 a year, all of it as qualified dividends and long-term gains pulled from the brokerage account under the 0% LTCG bracket. They draw nothing from a pre-tax account because they don't have one. Federal tax bill, $0. Year after year for 30 years. Their sub-decision is to leave the Roth and the HSA untouched until 75, letting both grow tax-free for another decade. Then they tap them for legacy spending and long-term care. The Roth passes to their kids income tax-free under the inherited Roth rules. The HSA passes to a spouse seamlessly. Same gross income, 3 different federal tax bills. The variable isn't intelligence or income, it's account architecture, started at different ages. Two complications nobody warns you about, and both of them hit the Maria path hardest. First, the Social Security tax torpedo. $2 thresholds, $32,000 and $44,000 for joint filers. Decide whether your Social Security gets taxed. Above $44,000 of provisional income, 85% of your benefits become taxable. The practical bite is this. Every dollar of pre-tax 401k withdrawal in a certain income band drags another 85 cents of Social Security into taxable territory with it, and the effective marginal rate on that dollar climbs above 40%. Those two thresholds were set by Congress in 1983 and 1993. They have never been adjusted for inflation. In 1994, 12% of all Social Security benefits got taxed. By 2022, 38%. The trajectory means almost every middle-income retiree eventually pays it. Roth withdrawals don't count as provisional income. HSA withdrawals don't count. LTCG inside the 0% bracket counts at a reduced rate. The triple bucket dodges the torpedo because of how Congress wrote the rule, not by accident. Second, IRMAA, the income-based Medicare premium surcharge. Cross certain income lines and your Medicare Part B and D premiums jump by hundreds of dollars a month per spouse for the rest of your life. Pre-tax withdrawals push you across those lines. Roth withdrawals don't, so the same architecture that delivers a $0 federal income tax bill also delivers the lowest possible Medicare premiums and the smallest possible Social Security tax bill. 3 problems solved with one design choice made during the working years. Back to the question, what if every dollar you spent in retirement was tax-free? It isn't a fantasy, it's a structure. 3 tax-free buckets, Roth, HSA, and brokerage, stacked underneath 2 tax-free brackets the IRS already wrote into the code. You don't need an insurance product. You don't need a financial advisor with a book to sell. You need to know where the next dollar of savings is going. Tonight, open the app where your retirement contributions live. Find the toggle between traditional and Roth. If you're under 50 and you earn more than $80,000, flip your next contribution to Roth. Just the next one. That single choice, repeated for 10 or 15 years, is the difference between Maria's $230,000 lifetime tax bill and Sarah and Tom's $0. The architecture starts with one toggle. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple explanations.